Greetings, Dennis Daniels here. This is a demonstration of how to create multiple directories with pre-populated files using Google Colab. So let's take a look. Description. So generate a number of named folders. Use case for businesses. You need to create a separate folder for each batch of new hires, for example, or you might have a batch of new hires, or you might have an event, or you might have a incentive program running, something along those lines. And then you also have use case for teachers. And whereas teacher has a bunch of students, each student will have their own folder, and inside each folder is a group of signed documents or assignments, assignments for completion. Now, what we have here is a very simple demonstration of using a simple text file, which we call YAML. And we have our students here, and this is a big thanks out to Horst for all of his help in making this happen. And we have students, and we have math, English, language, etc. Now, that's all well and good. We're going to run over this by iterating over the YAML. This is basically, we're going to create a YAML database, and YAML is not a database. It stands for yet another markup language, but we are going to use it as a basic database. In this case, it's going to open the database. It's been created here, and now we're going to open it, read it, and then we are going to print out the values just to do a sanity check. We'd like to do that, so Control F9, you can see that it's finished completion, and we will see in the directory that we have our database YAML, and there's all the data. It's identical to this, which is exactly what we wanted. And this particular format allows us to keep everything in one document, so you don't have to connect it to anything else. Maybe in a future iteration, we will connect it to a Google spreadsheet, for example. Moving on, we have done our sanity check. So in the sanity check, we have found that the data, students, John Miller, Horst, and Jane, and then the subkeys, math, algebra, geometry, etc. And now what I can do is just go ahead and demonstrate. We'll add calculus here, and we'll add critical thinking, and languages, we'll add Russian, and for painting and sculpture, for art, we'll add video for whatever. And now I'm going to run this again, Control F9, and we'll see when I open this up, we now have calculus, etc. So it's working, and that's what we want. So now, moving on, Control F9, you can see that our data has written to the folder or to the subdirectories, and now we're going to create folders with the topic files. Now the topics, in this case, is languages, English, math. Now, since it's already run, it's going to open, and you can see that in this case, the YAML file, or this particular script, is reading directly from students, which is right here. It's reading that, and it's reading the subjects. So for our purposes, we need to call those directly in our script. And this is where we create an empty list to hold the students, to store it. And then we are creating an empty dictionary to store the values that are discovered here in the YAML file. And ultimately, what will happen is when we run this is going to print students. Here are the students. And it's going to print the subjects, which in this case is a dictionary, and here they are. Sorry, here is the dictionaries that are being created. Now, what do we get? At the end, we're going to see that we have created a directory, and the directory is sorted alphabetically. So here's Horst, and you can see the art, painting, video, and sculpture. Now, if I double click on this, inside I have painting, video, and sculpture, which is exact same thing there. Now, I can go ahead and add more data here directly into this text file. I'm going to add music. Control F9. It's finished running. I close this, and we'll go ahead and open Jane Smith, for example. Double click art, and there is music. So this works. So you could substitute any of these values here for more pertinent values, for example, um, questionnaires or evaluation sheets for individuals, you name it. This kind of functionality is very useful, again, for businesses and for teachers. I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration. The code for this is shared, and I will make sure that you have a link to it in the video description below. Thanks for watching, and happy computing.